Hi everyone, this is your feedback video from week 7. You should know that this is your last feedback video. I usually don't do one with week 8, primarily because no one reads it or listens to it because you all are busy and you've moved on to your next course. So know that I'll still send you an email that says, hey, we've wrapped up the week. And here, your grades have been posted, but you won't get a feedback video in this kind of detail. So, that being said, I have a confession. This is my bedhead. I went upstairs to take a shower, and my beloved husband decided he was going to wash every single shower curtain and the curtain liner and put them in the laundry. So, I didn't have time to wait for his nonsense, so you're getting me without my hair gel or without my contact lenses, without makeup. This is what I look like when I'm grading. So do not be scared. It does get a little bit improved once I take a shower and put makeup on. But I wanted to give you feedback as soon as I could. I know the vast majority of you all are working towards wrapping up week 8 work so that you can take a deep breath and either get ready for 619 at the beginning of next week or just catching your breath trying to wrap up your life. So, general feedback from these teaching plans. The service learning concept is a complex concept. There is a reason that it is a component of your teaching plan assignment. It is because it really does require a lot of thought, a lot of planning. And it's not a concept that many people think about until they're in the middle of a service learning project, which are becoming more and more common on our campuses and even in our hospital settings, when we really are starting to think more about the community we serve and how we can be the hands and feet in our community from a healthcare standpoint. So if you really kind of struggle to get your head around that, there's a reason it's part of a graduate course. We wanted you to really spend some time thinking about it. A few things that came up. Many of you put, as part of your concept analysis of service learning, you put groups of students together. I want to remind you that best practice with group work is about 3 to 4 students. You don't want to get more than 5, and here's why. Once you get more than about 4 to 5, depending on how functional your groups are, your groups become prone to what we would call academic malingering. It means that there can be someone in your group that really underperforms in a way that is almost invisible to the project. So if you have 6 people on a group and you have 4 or 5 that are pretty functional and you have one that's loafing around and not chiming in and not doing their part, most of the time, the other group will pick up the pieces and that other person's kind of almost cut off from the project, but they still earn a grade. They still are given credit for work they didn't do. So we want to avoid academic malingering. We want to create a purposeful team that has enough people to get the work done, but not so many that you can have somebody be unproductive. So I really try to keep groups at about 4. I think 3 is just not enough with big projects if you really want a good collaboration. 3 also creates a triangle. Sometimes you get 2 people that do really well and you get this third odd man out. So 4 is normally a really nice number. Sometimes if you have big classrooms, you can move up to 5, but you really want to watch out for malingering in a group. I know we've all been a part of group projects that have not been fabulous, and we've struggled with really wanting to have fairness and equity. So that's one of the ways you manage it is with group sizes. The other way to manage it is with peer reviews that actually have teeth. So, making a significant percentage of the course grade peer reviews, and that gives people, some willingness to engage. The other thing I want to talk about is just assessment. So often we think about assessment, I think I said this in my last video, that it's the thing we do at the end of the class and that it causes stress and test anxiety. Assessment can happen at multiple points. When you have your students do a pre-class assignment, a form of assessment is a pre-class assessment that basically is a knowledge check before they walk in the door. Have they done what you've asked them to do? Do you have them go online and complete a pre-class quiz? Do they have an admission ticket, which would be maybe answers from a case study in the back of the book? When they walk into class, they hand it in as evidence that they've done the reading and that they're prepared with the daily content. That would be a pre-class assessment. The formative assessment, which we would do during a classroom session, can be as simple as you discussing a topic, and 15 minutes in, you say, okay, tell me one significant fact that you learned from the last few minutes of lecture. What surprised you? What is something new that you learned that you didn't already know? This kind of way is a way to see if they're paying attention. And it can be in a Socratic method of tell me what you think, or you could use an eye clicker or a poll everywhere. There's lots of little technology tools that let us pop in quizzes and questions into our PowerPoints. So think about that as a formative step of assessing your students. Not everything you teach you're going to have show up on a final exam. Sometimes you're just talking about a topic that's just important for their practice, but maybe not in class priority. Or maybe you're talking about a topic that really just isn't appropriate to give a formal assessment. So know that you have a pre-class, a formative assessment method during class, and then you do have a summative assessment method, which really does look at all of the evaluation of the content that they've learned throughout a full section. And normally your summative assessment steps are going to have a grading component. It's going to impact their grade in some way. So don't feel like every time you do a teaching plan, you need to have something that has a hammer in it. Sometimes you can just have a teaching plan that says, tell me what you thought about that. Tell me what you learned from that. What new ideas do you have from that? That's valuable assessment stuff. So I do want you to be okay with that. When you use an informal assessment, either pre-class, general questions, the throw out there kind of things, you want to have a general idea of what am I looking for in their responses. So have that clear in your mind, or if you're asked to do a teaching plan, kind of jot down, this is what I'm going to ask them, and these are the things I'm looking for. And if they don't say these things, I may need to go back to my content and reiterate a concept because they don't really clearly understand that. And do not confuse with deer in the headlights with students not understanding or having an answer. I ask questions in class all the time and I get stared at. Lots of times it's they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to be the first one to take a risk. I jokingly tell my undergraduates sometimes when I ask a question, I'll say, who wants to be wrong first? Be bold, be brave. It really is okay, to encourage the students to take a risk and to be comfortable with providing answers in a formative assessment method that's really low risk. And if you create a learning environment that communicates that congruently, then you really are going to be more likely to get active engagement from your students, which is fantastic. So that's about it for your teaching plan. If you have questions or concerns, holler at me and let me know. As you move forward to do your presentation, if there were problems with your teaching plan, you're going to want to clean those up and polish them before you do your teaching plan. You do not need to resubmit your teaching plan as a revised version. Just make sure if there were gaps in your content or errors in your teaching plan that you correct them for your own use so that your presentation is correct. And if you have questions about specific concepts or areas that you were struggling with, just let me know and we can have a conversation about that. Okay, just a reminder, your presentations need to be congruent to the population. If you were in class and you were lecturing in class, then your presentation should be a video of you in class teaching students. If you were teaching online, like I do in this course, or you're in an RN to BSN or wherever you are, for whatever reason, you're using an online framework, then your presentation method is going to be a voice over PowerPoint. Your voice over PowerPoint, as your instructions tell you, have to be integrated into YouTube. This takes some time. You're only supposed to have about 15 minutes of content. Otherwise, trying to get it up onto YouTube will take forever. Do not do this at 11 o'clock on Thursday because it will show up late. You have got to plan accordingly and get this done early. If you have a Mac, especially if it is 2016's version of Word, you may have difficulty getting the voiceover component put into YouTube. I will encourage you not to use your Mac for this assignment if you have another alternative. Just use a PC of someone else's. If that is not an option, please send me an email privately and I will talk you through how you may need to navigate that. It's a headache, and it's not an anticipated issue. It really depends on the version of Apple you're using, and then the version of Word you have on there, and then whether YouTube feels like it that day. It is specific to an Apple product. I know they're working on a patch for it, but sometimes it catches students every once in a while and it gives you a headache. So I'm giving you a heads up. If you have a Mac, especially a new one with the new 2016, be careful and touch base with questions. Practicum logs, you're going to wrap those up. Make sure you're using feedback from log 1 and log 2 to make log 3 fabulous. Make sure your time log is accurate. All 50 hours need to be appropriately counted for. If there are errors in Typhon from your practicum log or your time log, your final grade will not be posted. If you have not done your evaluations from Typhon for your site, your preceptor, and your practicum evaluation. Sorry, I had to think about it. If you have not done those evaluations in Typhon, your final grade will not be posted. You will earn an incomplete. You're also responsible for making sure your preceptor has done their Typhon evaluation. Know that Miss Sterling is going to superstock you over the next week if you are missing things. This will not come as a surprise that you are missing things. She will let you know. So be attentive to your email this week. I think that is it. When I send you this email, I'm also going to send you a link to a video about a service learning project that has been done with the undergraduate students at Liberty University School of Nursing. Two of your peers, Meredith and Emily, included it as a component of their service learning as an exemplar. Dana Woody and a team of nurses have put together this service learning project as part of a nursing course in community, and I had forgotten that the local news media had covered it. So I'm going to send you the link. So shout out to Meredith and to Emily for reminding me that it was out there. I'm going to send it to you so you can see how fabulous your future alma mater is in serving the community in which they live. So I will send that along with this video. If you have questions or concerns, please touch base. Friday is going to get unwieldy because of graduation activities that we'll be tied up on. So be sure that you reach out before the 9th hour on Friday. It may be difficult for me to reply to email as quickly as I usually do on Friday. I'll try to be attentive, but sometimes I simply won't have access to the computer because of where we're going to be needed on campus. So plan early, reach out often, let me know how I can help you. It has been my pleasure to have you in class. I will look forward to seeing you maybe in 620, if not wherever you are. I hope you feel God's grace, God's mercy, and God's abundant love in your life and through the remaining part of this academic journey. Know that I have enjoyed you, know that I'll be thinking about you, and I'll be praying for you. Y'all take care.